Good idea.
What's it going to cost to retrofit that? We got to get more accounts through our sales.
That too, yeah.
Do it when he does all this.
30 seconds?
He's a nice guy.
Dennis. Oh, man, he's
What a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get together with him, with Dennis.
He's a master salesman.
What's Dennis's last name?
10 seconds?
He can sell tobacco to a redneck.
Nice to an Eskimo. From NFL quarterback to Hollywood to the mayor's office, and now behind the mic at KXEX, this is the Alan Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody clapping out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. Free at last! Free at last!
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry, No Retreat. I'm old Alan Autry, still kicking and still honored and humbled to have you with us today. Big Wednesday. We're going to surf through this hour. Got so much to cover, and what a joy and a blessing it is to cover that hour with two of my favorite people, Larry Powell. Welcome, Larry.
Nice to be with you.
I fondly refer to him as Sir Lawrence of Powell. He would be, that's my way of knighting
Did we
him.
leave last night, or were we here
I
all?
don't know. We were and also Guillermo Moreno of the Guillermo Moreno Show fame here on KXEX 1550 from 4 till midnight. You run those reruns all the time, don't you? Just run right through. People can't get enough of Moreno.
Well, I can't fool the people either because people are pretty mad at me. Like, you doing a live show today? It's Guillermo Moreno sometimes live. Like, oh, man.
Well, you're juggling. You got a lot of those balls in the air that you're juggling, my brother.
Yeah.
And we juggled them last night. It was election night here in California, as it was, I believe, in 6 other states.
Yep.
It was 7 states that had some very...
New Jersey, South Dakota.
Yes, the little warm-up before the biggie.
Yes.
The last election before the biggie in November. Yeah. And here locally, let's start locally and do a little rundown of the highlights. And, we'll go. Locally,
let me start it.
Yeah.
Michelle Cantwell-Cofer is the new county superintendent of schools.
There you go. Come on.
January 4th,
Give it up.
2023.
Give it up. Let me ask you real quickly on her.
Yep.
Experience isn't everything, but it means a lot. All right?
Yeah.
You're okay? I mean, if you don't have experience, say you didn't exactly, you've never held an office, but you've been a CEO or you've had a company, some transferable things.
Yep.
But has there ever been an individual in that office? I mean, you came in, did a great job, Pete Meehouse before you, Jim Yovino, great job. But this lady's uniquely qualified, isn't she, Larry?
Yeah, she is. She's very talented, has her doctorate. Yeah. She's been schooled under me and Jim Yovino, so we're going to take a little bit of credit for that. But, the thing about someone who becomes a really good leader is they listened and learned along the way. And she has stepped up and stepped up and stepped up. She's also been at State Center Community College, so she's got really vast experience. She's going to do a really good job.
And you can tell with her, too, as I noticed, our good friend Pete Meehouse, who's in heaven now, left us way too soon. Great superintendent schools. You took over. You a lot of his values you shared, and he helped you, but you were your own person.
Yeah.
You took that. Jim Uvino
His own
took
person.
from you, but he was his own person.
Yep.
Michelle, I see the same thing.
She'll do the same thing. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Then Guillermo and I talked about this last night, but Pete Mia said, when you get an endorsement, all that does is guarantee you one vote if they live in your district.
He was always good.
He was good.
He's the one who told. He was always famous for saying, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." Guillermo Marino, locally,
Yes, sir.
then we'll expand this discussion, this dialectic discussion with a minimal of asperity. Start locally. We'll expand it out to the state. Some big things happening in the state. One, I think, could be seismic up in the Bay Area. But give us your rundown. Did it turn out the way you thought it was?
It did not. I honestly believed that, we're going to have a bigger conservative turnout. I think we did good statewide. It looks like on the conservative races, well, not conservative races, but on the races where we're going to be sending a conservative. Mark Moisier, happy for him. He's going to be heading into the United States Senate race. He's a great guy. Alani Chan ended up being, last time I checked, he was still number one. Granted, the conglomerate of the rest of the Democrat votes would exceed that. But I think it was a good night statewide. Locally, it was kind of a rough night. It was a rough night, especially for the voters in the city of Fresno who were kind of tired of the block of four, gang of four. It wasn't a good night for us. And for the left, it was a very good night because it was a very good night for city council, a very good night for Miguel Arias, who'll be moving on. No problem. Nelson Esparza moving on. No problem. Esmeralda Soria moving on to her next step in her political career. No problem.
She didn't win outright. Or did she?
No, she didn't win outright. No, I believe November. On the state. Yeah, you have to go to November on the state races. It's only the locals where you can win it outright.
How did Kabasi finish on that?
Yeah, when I checked, he was dead last. I'm pulling up the results right now.
Not good.
Yeah, dead last. That was a shocker, and what David Taub had reiterated looks like it came true. He just couldn't raise money.
Yeah, gotta have the money.
You got to have the money.
Was the turnout as troubling to you as it was to me?
It's troubling, and I believe very troubling. And I think Larry Powell said this. We were talking about, the little margins. Let's just look at Miguel Arias. Miguel Arias won with 1,634 votes. 1,634 vote. That's it. And I think was it you said last night, Gary Bredefeld, when he runs. North Fresno, 18,000. So we really have to have, and I sound like a Democrat. We really have to have a discussion about, but no, we really have to have a discussion in this city because Gary Bredefeld, a good friend of mine, and I'm not gonna say that, I'm not biased. I'm a great guy. I think he's a great council member, but I think the other four need to realize, hey, listen, he represents a large voter base. Literally, he gets more votes than most of them do when they get elected.
Absolutely.
We have to keep that in mind. But if you want change in the city of Fresno, there was one small glimmer of hope, and I think you helped with you're the one that really solidified this. And you said, look, Annalisa Perea, I didn't think she was going to take it outright. Honestly, I didn't. I thought Carrie was or Jeremy. I was really hopeful. She's maybe won't be joining the block of four, which means that you might have some more balance in the city council. But I also I was thinking about this as I was driving to the studio. She's also, she's very close to Miguel Arias, and she's very close to Tyler Maxwell. I remember election night when Tyler Maxwell got elected in 2020. I was interviewing him, and she was standing right there next to him. So as much as I want to believe that, this will bring some balance, I think at the end of the day, it probably will not. If she has political aspirations, which her last name is Perea, she will more than likely have political aspirations. She's going to have to not join the block of four and play right in the middle, which she has that ability to.
So you don't see her being Luis Chavez-ish at all?
It would be in her best. And I'm a conservative. I'm over here. I'm giving away the playbook for the Dems for her success. For her to succeed, she'd be right in there following Luis's lead. And, you go in there, you read everything. You go out to your district, you deliver, you're everyone's friend, you talk to the right, you talk to the left, you do it for 4 years. She's going to be in a nice position to do something maybe that her father and her brother have been unable to do.
Well, I'll tell you, she's a very impressive young lady.
She is.
I mean, on many, many levels.
Absolutely.
You know, she was the
Excuse me,
highest
folks.
vote getter of the council members.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All of them who won. She got 2,400 votes. The rest of them were in
True.
the 1,800, 1,900 range.
Yeah.
So she got more votes out of her district than any of the other winners did.
All right. You guys have anything more
Oh,
local
yeah.
you want to talk about before we move to the Bay Area?
Hold on.
Oh, yes.
I want to point something
The
out.
zoo. Well, first of all, I've got to send a message because, you know, there's not very many voices, obviously, in Fresno that care about my good friends out at the zoo. And I'm not just the people that work there.
You're talking
Good people
about the
work
animals.
there. Talking about the animals. So I know you're listening right now. We're big fans of the show. Sam the snake, Tony the tiger,
Chuck the cheetah.
Chuck the cheetah, really good guy, really good guy. Ellie the elephant, Ralph the rhino. I did my best. Unfortunately, my best wasn't good enough, and you will have to stay inside of the zoo hell, otherwise known as Measure Z.
That's all they know.
80%.
But you
You'll
are
have to-
getting some
You
filet
will have to
mignon.
live.
so-
You'll have to live in animal socialism for the rest of your life. And the worst thing is your children were born into that captivity. Well, so, but I did my best. And as far as going on from here, 80%, you have to get somebody younger. But going forward, I just have to tell you, I love you, but you're toast. You're going to be confined probably for the next 40, 50 years. So, just as the
Listen, I grew up with Nosy, the elephant. You know?
free Dumbo, dang it! They
He
said,
was
"Well,
fit-
Alan, what would you do with them?" I'll tell you what I do with them. I would ship them. I mean, there's enough stimulus money. I'd put on the boat and I'd take them home, and then
To
I
your
know
hou-
they've been domesticated. No, home, Africa,
Oh, I was
India.
They wouldn't survive.
I was
They
thinking
would
Wuhan.
survive for a little while till that wild lion got them. I get it. But for those few minutes or maybe a few hours, they would experience life the way God intended them to live. Freedom! Freedom!
You can either
Freedom!
have
Can't you just see that going through there, looking left and right? And I know the cheetah, the pack of hyenas are going to jump on them once they get into the jungle and they'll die a gruesome death. I get that. But is it worth it? You know, freedom. We talk
Listen.
about give me liberty or give me death. We're the Patrick Henrys in terms of animals.
you
Let
can,
them go.
You can either have filet or you can
Let
be
them
filet.
go.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, you guys. Okay, let's move on. Measure Z, but I was surprised at the margin.
People
Well-
love that African exhibit. They love, I mean, my grandkids go out there frequently. They love that place.
Yeah.
You know,
But why do you think monkeys throw crap at you?
they don't do it as much
What?
here. Did you notice that?
Huh?
They don't do it as much. At
They're
Fresno.
happier here, Alan.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They give them some kaopectate or something to
They
stuff.
go. They,
they tease you. They fake like they're going to do it. Attaboy. Torment the people.
Oh, man.
But anyway, was it 80%?
80%.
I think it's telling that the Fresno County voters want, and we talked about this last night, they want amenities. We want something
Yeah.
for our city. What amenities do we have?
$225 million this zoo is going to have in the last 10 years. What are they going to do with that? What exhibit they come? Where's the expansion? I thought what Larry, I think maybe you came up with.
Yeah.
Listen, have a plan where you carve off a little and start an aquarium. Let's have the best aquarium in California. Let's take on
Well, they're going to
Monterey.
need $500 million for that, Alan.
What's that?
They're going to need $500 million for that. That's
Well, you know what I'm saying. How
Yeah.
many? I mean, like we said the other day, what are you going to do? You're going to shovel elephant crap with gold shovels?
So you're saying how better can the zoo get?
Well, yeah, and
Is that
you look at
academically
that
probably not?
money. You look at that money.
How much better?
How much better?
$225 million. What do? You know where it's going to go.
Well, the same
You're going to
point-
go to
Yeah.
to build an inflated deal. Then when the tough times hit, they're going to
Same thing with Measure P, though. They have a lot of money. How much better can our parks get?
a lot better,
All right. Well, you answered too quickly.
a
On that one.
lot better,
Bro,
and more parks. We need more parks.
see, I'm not a big
That's
park.
what Larry and I fought for.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
park guy.
What?
I'm not a big park guy. This generation.
You'd rather be hit in the face with monkey crap than go to a park?
No, but listen, I value parks. I value green spaces.
Okay.
But these young kids are not into parks right now. They're into babies. Yeah. If maybe 5 months old to maybe 2 years old, but they're on their technology. You don't see teenagers using. Well, I mean, yeah,
But
skate parks maybe.
Yep.
But
we
I'm just,
can regroom them.
Did you see who actually got the idea of parks going in Fresno?
No.
Group of youth that were 16 to 20. They're the ones that came up with the idea for the
Kind of
park.
shoots the heck out of your argument, doesn't
Well,
it?
no. I'll
Retort to that.
let me get my right-winger argument out. They must have been progressive liberals.
No,
wanting a park.
right-wingers are against parks.
They were basically asked,
I get what you're
what
saying.
amenity
and I think
would
it's
you like
with you.
most?
Yeah.
And it's because we in the North don't need a park. Our homes in many cases are a park.
Very good point. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
they say? What they want most, Larry, is a bigger phone and an iPad.
The newest, yeah.
That's right. And Jordan.
But my point, and I think you bring up a good point, because Larry, you guys went out. I think you're part of buying Scout Island.
Yeah. The Scott Island's part of Fresno County.
And people don't
Office
even
of
know
Ed.
it's there. It's just like bucolic
Spectacular.
oasis there.
Yeah.
They take these kids hooked on technology. They take them to Scout Island, Guillermo, and it's like you
It's a
see
different
this
world.
It's a different world. They have to keep their devices down. They're out in nature, and they like it.
It's
I understand though
fantastic.
what you're saying.
Have you been out there?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
I got to get you out to Scott
All right.
Island. Do you know one of the things about waterways in California? If you go by a boat on a waterway someplace in California, you have the right to spend the night on any property that water goes to.
Really?
Yes. So you want to travel. They used to do this all the time because the San Joaquin went all the way to the Delta.
Yeah.
Little
yeah.
known laws.
But-
Those,
Yeah. But you can stop and overnight, if you go by boat on a California waterway, you can stay on the property overnight.
I'd be darned.
Little known fact.
Yes,
Well.
that is. All right.
Let me call Biden and give me one of the yachts that they're taking over. I'll take one. I'll take one in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the oligarchs are selling them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got those repos from the oligarchs.
Get a real good deal.
Really good deal.
Really
on
good
it.
deal.
Formerly owned by the Russian oligarch out of Severodonetsk. And but listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get to this. I think could be seismic recall of this fellow, this DA up in San Francisco. Could it be a forebearer of things to come? Lord, I hope so.
Yep.
This is Alan Autry, No Retreat with Larry Powell and Guillermo Marino. We'll be right back.
Exactly clear. There's a man with a gun.
Are telling me I got to beware. So stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What
Alan,
a
we missed
field
our
day
calling.
for the heat.
We missed our call.
Larry, I don't even sound good in the shower anymore. I used to, that old thing.
Hey, good to see
How are you? Nice to see you.
Folks, thank you for tuning in. A lot of love, y'all.
Yep. Good
Laura,
stuff.
Sue, gosh,
A lot of folks.
a lot of folks.
And all over the nation. I mean,
Vicky here locally has been a supporter so many times. Love you.
You start
Appreciate
looking at the people who listen to your show, and they are spread throughout the United States. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, Autry's army's growing.
It is.
But you know what? If we never grew another individual, I'd still feel just as blessed to have
Yeah.
folks that tune in,
Great
Right.
folks.
Because people tune in is going to be who God stirs their heart to tune in.
That's right.
That's the ones you want there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Faith, family, freedom.
It's
Okay.
it.
All right.
Never go out of style on the Autry show, I'll tell you that.
All right. All right. Sounds good.
Keep it.
Huh?
Zoo going.
Hey, you're.
You know, don't let that door hit you too hard on the way out there, Dennis. Okay? Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, exactly. Which is who? Well, I guess both of them did, right?
Yeah.
Both of them came out winners. Just kidding, Miguel, Esmeralda,
Oh, they have a
Tyler.
pep in their step today.
Oh, don't you? They're doing the old Michael
I
Jackson.
mean, they're right in front of Gary's door, right in front of Gary Bredefeld. He probably didn't go to work today. I wouldn't either.
Oh, Gary will love it. He loves to mix it up.
By the way, a huge thank you to Gary. So I'm meeting with Rudy Giuliani tomorrow night.
Are
Having
you?
dinner with him?
Isn't that
Yeah,
exciting?
I'm excited. And
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll be coming on after this show, right?
yeah, right
Married
after
back
us.
to back.
Yeah, yeah.
You like that creative? Back there.
I like it. Yeah.
Autry and Giuliani.
America's favorite mayors.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. He put together a package.
How long is the show? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
An hour.
Good.
Yeah.
He couldn't go to. I would advise him not to go to.
There's
I know
people
you
that-
like
yeah.
to talk, Rudy. I know, but if you've never done this before,
It's different. It's different. Yeah.
don't go to. I don't know
Different
how
beast.
you do. You do 3, and it's just like
Well, I do
nothing.
1 and repeated 3. So
Yeah, but you
I
could
do.
go-
I do 3.
But you could go.
I can
to.
go 3. I can go the distance. Yeah.
You could go the distance.
That
easy.
is so hard. Just get me out there talking to people. I'm okay.
Yeah.
But you get behind the mic, and you realize people want to hear sometimes want to hear what you have to say. You're going, am I saying what I really want to say, or am I just filling space?
Or did I just
30 seconds?
Or did I just say what I just said in the last segment?
Yeah.
No, I've had many of those moments.
Jeremy, you're unbelievable, brother.
I was telling him last night, looked spiffy, looked like an attorney.
He did. He looked great.
He looked wonderful.
Yeah.
I found another, you're getting up there. If you find yourself pushing your cart down the grocery aisle,
10 seconds?
whistling the Andy Griffith song still,
Yeah, you choose a bit.
you might be getting up there.
Oh, man.
If you still run out of Brill cream,
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
hey, welcome back to Alan Autry No Retreat. So happy to have you with us from our little old juggernaut here at KXEX in Manchester Center. All right, here's the race that I'm excited about. Well, it wasn't a race, it was a recall effort that was successful. And Chesa Boudin, Jethro's cousin, is out. He's out on his ear.
Proposition H.
In San Francisco, probably the most liberal West Coast city, one of the most liberal in the country.
Yep.
And like the Indian stuntman Sonny Landham, a good friend, actor Sonny Landham. Yeah, Sonny said this, I didn't. Sonny was, he's the one who talked like this. He talked like Bubba for Bubba, big Indian guy. He played Billy Bear in the movie 48 Hours, the killer, Billy Bear, the two guys, the Indian. That was Sonny.
Sonny.
Had a great career. Also did The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the guys.
Oh, that one I know. Yeah.
And he used to come up with these pearls of wisdom. One time he told me, he says, Alan, he goes, Carlos back then. You know what? When I go to, I don't want to go to heaven. I said, well, why? Son? He goes, well, there won't be anybody there I know. And I said, okay. He also said, he was real mad about something. He goes, Carlos, when you do something good for somebody, you forget about it just as soon as you do it because they sure as hell are. Then his other one was, when God decides to destroy the world again, if he doesn't start with San Francisco and New York, he needs to give Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. That was Sonny.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Sunny
that.
guy, huh?
All I'm saying is, by all measures, even on the left now, San Francisco has deteriorated dramatically in every aspect of quality of life, from crime to human defecation on the streets and shooting up.
There's an app for that.
It's an app. And Larry and I were talking before the show that, and Guillermo, I know we've talked about this. It seems like change will only come when that nonsense, that craziness, that violence, and that filth gets at your doorstep. So when the stop and grabs, the stop and robs, and the group invasions of a grocery store in the poor part of town, the Tenderloin district in San Francisco,
They really call
politicians didn't even raise a finger.
Yeah.
But you go have a gang raid a Gucci store.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
Suddenly, this has got to end.
This is too much.
Well, Chesa Boudin, and by the way, Mrs. Boudin, I'm one about names, but Chesa Boudin, he's out.
Yeah, he's out. This is
60-40.
Yeah.
out.
I mean, really out. He got the boot. He got bend over. Here it comes. Republican, Democrat, boom.
So I
Is
think
there any Republicans in San Francisco? I think there was a sighting. There's two, isn't there? Yeah,
they were out driving out.
They were both for the zoo, but they were
they're not true Republicans. They're El Camino Republicans.
More than like very, very true.
I have no doubt.
What's your thought about that? I'm astounded still.
So this proves that there are limits to progressivism, even in California. I want to be very clear. Last night in California, we saw the limits of progressivism. You saw it in San Francisco with Boudin getting recalled. You saw it in L.A. with Caruso being the top vote getter. Now, whether he's going to win or not, now it enters this entirely different
the
race.
last tally, I didn't see that. Bass was ahead. Did
little
Caruso
bit.
pulled ahead?
From this morning, this was like at 5 a.m. She hadn't pulled ahead. So I can check.
Well, no, I know they were really close.
Yeah, but even if he's not ahead,
Okay,
just being close.
Yep.
I think now the Democrats have to realize, and I think they do realize, is that this is how far they can push the envelope. When you start talking about security and safety, that's when even the left is going to say, you know what, I've had enough. And two interesting side notes. and we talked about this ahead of time. I'll start with the one that's not that great of a side note. Last night, CNN didn't even realize that there was an election happening. This is the first time in my lifetime.
You mean the recall election?
No, last night they had no election coverage. What? CNN did not have any primary election coverage. So this was the first time, I think, in my lifetime.
Not even on the bottom ticker?
No.
Get out of here.
I dead serious. I have never seen this before. I didn't see Jake Tapper say, all right, well, let's get in this small poke district here, and let me tell you what, I know this voter in this.
None of it.
CNN, there was no election going on, according to them.
Were they expecting a red wave or something? Or did they just forget?
The reality is, I think they knew what was going on. They know that there's a limit to the American public's ability to take this in anymore. So they weren't covering it. Fox News was. I mean, they had the lower Chiron, and I looked several times, like doing a double take, like, and I was like, man, did we pay the cable bill? Is it just stuck on? But no, it was. It seriously, they weren't covering. That's number one. Number two, you know what they did cover and what everybody covered yesterday was Matthew McConaughey. Yep. And we were talking about it in the studio.
He did a good job.
He did a great job, and I believe he was on. Who was he on after that? He was on with someone else. He did the media rounds, and man, this guy is poised. He's ready, and the Democrats don't have a golden boy or gal or whatever they want to identify as. They don't have anyone. There's no one on their bench. Kamala Harris, no one likes her. Pete Buttigieg ain't ready. Gavin Newsom probably could be it. They don't have anyone. Klobuchar, not going to do it. Bernie Sanders, not going to do it. I can go down the list. First time that I saw kind of an Obama figure was yesterday with Matthew McConaughey.
And his politics, I wouldn't even put him even in the same class with Obama. He's I think, an independent. And what he said about sensible gun control without violating the Second Amendment, I mean, I believe the guy. And I support that. I don't know what that's going to look like. You got these red flag laws. Well, the first red flag is parents. Mm-hmm. When you see your kid having a fascination with this, that's the red flag. Parents, you need to do something.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that in reality is the first one and probably the best one to prevent something that happened in Uvalde and Columbine and every place else. But the man, and I tell you, without knowing, this had to kill Biden not being able to stand by him. And I do believe that was a McConaughey
his choice.
Demand.
Yeah.
I want to be out there. If you want me to speak on this, I want to speak on this. There's another outlet called Fox, and I'm going to be on there with Brett Baer right after here. But I'll go first.
Yep.
Here. But here's my conditions. You know the information can come in that I'm up there. Nobody's standing next to me. Mm-hmm. Don't turn this into a political event. It's too personal to me.
Yeah.
And man, you got to hand it to him. Again, I don't know if that conversation took place, but Larry, common sense would tell you it's a good abductive argument.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, it made me want to buy a Lincoln.
Yeah.
What is he registered as?
I think he's independent.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up, and
I think I heard him say he's a.
If you get back to San Francisco, really critical information here. Boudin sought political reform in criminal justice system, ending the use of cash bail, stopping minors from being prosecuted as adults, focused on lowering jail populations. And all three of those meant if I'm out in the public, I'm in more danger.
Yeah.
Okay? People don't want that.
Did you see his basic concession speech without conceding? To me, it embodies everything that is at play in American politics and is destroying this country. You saw someone who's so politically drunk, so steeped in their erroneous ways, malevolent ways, in ways that has the power to literally kill people, standing by those positions when they have the demonstrable proof that they're not working and more people are dying because of it, stand by it and blame the opponents for he was outspent, he said, 3-1, as if you had money to match that, the statistics would suddenly change.
Yep.
The amount of random violence committed by second, third, and fourth offenders, of which you refused to prosecute, and the positions you support to put more felons out on the street and to basically slap the wrist He basically went up there and said, because he's going to run in November. He doesn't get it. What the people, 60% of the people of San Francisco are telling you, rethink your ways, dude.
Yep.
This ain't working. And basically what he said is he's going to stay the course for justice, criminal justice reform, which means you violent offenders, don't worry. I still got your back.
Got you covered.
All of you rapists, I got you covered. That teenager that run down the mother and the kid, don't worry. You have a voice in Chesa Boudin. I'm not going to give up on you.
Yep.
All of you, and you law-abiding people, I know you really enjoy living in a state of fear. That's going to continue with me because I know in some weird, twisted way you like it. You love being in jeopardy. That's what he was basically saying.
First to file charges against police officers in San Francisco for homicide. So, when you see the extremes that he has gone to, the public, and I don't care what political persuasion you have, the public wants to be safe. Everybody wants to be safe, and they want their kids to be safe.
You would think if you were in charge of the mess hall and you're serving Brussels sprouts, all you're serving is Brussels sprouts, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have 95% of the people tell you, we're tired of Brussels sprouts. We want you to serve something else. And the chef says, no, I like Brussels sprouts, and I think Brussels sprouts are the key to nutrition. We're going to continue to just serve Brussels sprouts. And you 5%. I mean, you would think, like Bill Clinton. Let's take political.
You lost me at Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
I was thinking about grilled Brussels sprouts, to be honest. I like grilled Brussels sprouts.
Well, look at Clinton. After he got his butt kicked midterms with the contract with America, really, when the Republicans took the House, the first time in 40 years?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
When that happened. It's historic.
Yep.
He came out and said, I get it. The era of big government is over. I hear you, America. This guy's not doing it, and that, sadly, is indicative.
You're talking about Biden?
I'm talking about Chesa Boudin.
You can also say that to Biden, too.
Exactly.
Because, I mean...
Exactly, you could.
He's like CNN. Did he not realize that there was an election?
You people think he's a centrist, Biden, that he's being held against his will, that it's just a Stockholm syndrome? He's been abducted by the AOC crowd, and suddenly he's this mainstream. He's never been the Scranton Joe.
No.
He's always been Sloppy Joe. I like Sloppy Joes, but not in politics. I don't like when Sloppy Joes get on my shirt. Okay, I just wash the shirt. When the Sloppy Joe from a sloppy politician who does whatever he has to stay in office, he's always been this imbalanced far-left dude. He's the one, when they had Osama bin Laden, was the only one said, don't kill him. Don't get him. Hillary Clinton said, get him. Joe Biden was in Obama's ear telling him, don't do that. You have the guy that brought down the Twin Towers and all that, and you were going to let him go. That's just one example. He's always been that way. And that Chesa Boudin right there, I think, do yourselves a favor, folks. It's hard to watch. It's astonishing, really. But go watch his concession speech. He's out there for about 3-4 minutes. And
you can catch it on YouTube.
It'll scare you. This dude's running again in November.
Well, these are politicians, and I struggle with this too, because I mean, obviously every day I have to talk about politics. I'm like, man, do they really, are they that, conniving? Like, do they really want to harm America? And I think,
yes.
Well, I don't think they.
What do you think Build Back Better means? Build Back Better means you have to tear something completely down. It doesn't, let's reform America.
Yeah.
Let's tweak America to make it better. Let's build back, which denotes you have to tear it down before you can build it back.
But they don't have this idea of, I want to destroy America. I think they're so deep in their own Kool-Aid that they honestly believe this. Like Boudin honestly believed that, you know what, second chances, third chances, fourth chances. We got no. They I don't think they're that.
Guillermo.
Yeah.
Guillermo. I could be wrong.
If you believe, when you hear, just listen. Let's just absorb it. This woke left that's running this country right now believe that America is systemically racist in every institution. Okay?
Yeah.
They believe white supremacy is everywhere.
Yeah.
They believe in open borders. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Okay? They believe that the police should be defunded. Just let neighborhoods go. Every bedrock principle that America was built on, and not to mention God, They want God not just out of the public square, out of everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? That means you have to destroy America because all of those things is what this America was built upon. That's why they do want to destroy America. Because America as it is now is something they think is horrible for mankind. They can't be tweaked. It's you're racist at birth. You're going to teach kids that you're racist. How do you negotiate with that?
Yeah.
Who believes it? So that's why that element, I believe, absolutely is out to destroy America as we know it.
Let me tell you
now.
the good news.
Please do.
Please do.
They believe it, but the American public doesn't really believe it.
Amen. So true.
And even in those who like the woke far left, that kind of stuff, they don't believe it down deep inside. They want some level of reforms, but most of the folks, once again, I'll say this, they love the middle. There are some that love the right, some that love the left, but I'm telling you, people are so comfortable in the middle, and if you forget that, you lose your position eventually because you wear them out.
Yeah.
You wear them out.
Well, interesting discussion here. But I do believe that this ideology is the biggest threat to the survival of this country that we've ever faced.
Oh, yeah.
More so than Hitler, more so than any army.
Agreed.
And the communist, the philosophers, several of them has pointed out that this would be the eventual undoing of the United States of America. We wouldn't be defeated militarily. We would give our freedoms away. We'd give our basic principles away. And in doing so, you give away what is America.
Yeah.
And that's sadly happening incrementally. And they were very smart at it. I mean, they took it right out of the communist Marxist playbook. Get the kids while they're young. Educate them in the schools. And we just naively went on because what? Well, both parents have to work. Mother and father both have jobs. Well, we can trust the school. They have our kids 75% of the time from the time they're 5 years old to the time they're 18.
Yeah.
And some of the biggest influences in their life are teachers and coaches. And you get into that system, and you start preaching that ideology that America's horrible. By the way, let's just change when America was founded. Let's change all of that. By the way, let's tear down any statue of anybody who founded America just because they owned slaves. Let's tear all that down. Let's tear off any memory of any of the good things. Because anytime you honor a human being, you're going to honor a flawed individual.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
It's reality. Yeah.
And you see this happening, and you see the powers that be. No, you got to stand up as a politician going, listen, no, you're not going to take that statue down. We're going to put cops out there. And by the way, if you resist arrest, we got a billy club for a reason. If you come in and attack something property, you're going to get your head busted. People, oh, yeah, how can you say that, Alan? Easy. What's the alternative? Let it run wild. We see what happens. 425 riots. How many deaths? It's not going to get any better. You've got to let law enforcement, keep a rein on law enforcement, but
there's another point in this election, and Guillermo, you've been talking about this a lot, but the Trump right candidates did not defeat the standard Republican candidate in this. Oh, by and large, those in office who were not strong Trump.
You know about last night?
Yeah, not strong Trumpists. They actually survived, and they ended up going into the November election. So Trump didn't pull off as much as he thought. He obviously, I think, still helped even those in office currently who were not Trumpists, Trumpites and stuff. But it didn't turn out the way he thought it would. It was which is an interesting thing.
The guy who really, I think, set the template was the governor there in Virginia, who said, I welcome the president's endorsement. I don't want him to come down and campaign.
Yeah.
I do want the Trump people behind this. I got this, which I thought was very admirable.
What's his smart move,
He's an upcoming superstar, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And then you had in Georgia.
Youngkin.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Then you had in Georgia what happened, where they went after Brian Kemp, with both barrels. Trump organization went after him big time. He won big. Okay. Now you've seen a little fissure between Herschel Walker and President Trump. Herschel now is trying to, he's seen it. They read the tea leaves. They go, look, how do I walk this line of those Trump voters not alienating Trump, but saying, you got, and I tell you, this is where Trump has to understand this. When I was mayor, I said, look, and there was a worthwhile endeavor or person I really believe should be in office. I always told him this: I'll support you if I can help you. And sometimes me helping you means coming nowhere around you.
Yeah.
There's some people, organizations
Absolutely.
are going to meet. I don't have to be, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Where I can help, let me help, because I believe in you. I believe you're good for Fresno. You're good for the county. You're good for the state. I said, be smart. You're not going to hurt my feelings, because I know I'm just a vessel to be used for righteousness, hopefully. And a lot of times it means don't come around. And Trump, I just pray, will understand that.
Well, I think he does. And
You think he?
oh yeah, because the California Republican Party has been pretty much sending him that signal loud and clear, and he gets it. He's never come over here to really campaign for anyone. I'm trying to think. I don't think he ever has campaigned for a California candidate. He tweets out, but he never actually comes out. So you got to respect the man, because he knows over here it's different. And this is the big battle. And actually, last week I was talking to someone who's further right than I am, but we're kind of in the same camp. And they want this California Republican Party to be Trumpian. And the California Republican Party is saying, we won't win if we're Trumpian. So your choice is we either lose or we become an El Camino. And we keep talking about, we keep joking about this, but the California Republican Party says, hey, you want a Democrat or you want an El Camino? We're going to be in charge next year. You know, Kevin McCarthy will be driving the bus. Do you want an El Camino or do you want a Trump? I'm in the camp, and I know it's completely odd. I've had it up to here. I'm more in the Trumpian camp. I think the party needs to head into that Trumpian mode, because nothing we've done so far is going to make us relevant statewide.
But why
didn't McConaughey just do that as a Democrat?
What?
Taking the position he took on gun control, he did exactly that.
But why?
Yeah, he did.
How does standing up for strong national defense, right to life, strong borders, energy independence, peace through strength, why has that become Trumpian? Trump didn't invent that. Like it's
That's
conservatism. Right. Tout, as Rush Limbaugh used to always say, it's conservatism. That's what you're talking about. You make changes where you need to make changes, and you conserve and preserve those principles that are timeless. Justice for all, hard work for a good day's pay. It gets freedom and justice for all. But you put Trump, when you do that, he's the one that basically becomes idolatry almost.
But we've allowed the left and the media to paint it that way. We are the conservative party. We're horrible marketers. We don't tout our successes, and we cannot get our message across. For goodness sakes, this party, the Republican Party, has been trying to get the message to the Latino voter for decades. It's an easy sell. You're selling water to someone that's thirsty, and we still can't do it. That's my biggest frustration.
I think and I agree with you to a certain extent, and I hope they're adroit enough, the Republican leaders, and those who just love America, period, will be able to take what we're experiencing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You take hyperinflation, it's going to be stagflation, and say, this is what happens when you print a lot of phony money. Those of you who are not economists, none of us are, but you got to get that principle that there's no such thing as free money.
Yeah.
In fact, it makes your money worth less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. That's a democratic principle. Spend your way out of economic problems. The conservative issue is grow small businesses, be pro-worker,
create jobs.
Create jobs. That doesn't result in inflation. When you have the open border situation, to be able, the crime, you have to be tough on crime. Here's what happens when you embrace the far left agenda of soft on crime and forget about law-abiding citizens. If they can take what's happening now, which is happening in abundance, it's basically like, here it is. Liberal value, not even call them liberal, far left values, conservative values. Articulate that and let the life we're living right now, the issues we're dealing with now, which are a war in Ukraine, how are we going to fund that? Continue to fund that. All sorts of things going on. And when you look at it, the conservative values went out. Can you articulate that? You can just sit back and are our candidates adept enough to be disciplined enough and charismatic enough to make that subject interesting and compelling, or are they just going to, okay, I'm just going to see how who can put Biden down the most, who can say how more incompetent Joe is and how Kamala Harris is. Yeah, of course, that's taking care of itself. The guy's sitting at a 32% approval rating. She's less. The world gets that. Now they're looking at Republicans going, please don't do what they did. Tell us what you're going to do. Give us solutions now, specifically how you're going to secure the border, how you're going to bring the economy back, how you can get our kids educated.
You remember James Carville?
Oh, okay.
It's the economy, stupid.
Yeah.
And there's two things. It's the economy and it's crime.
Yeah.
And if Republicans would concentrate just on those two things and not let people derail them into the other discussions, which are the flare issues like abortion and all of those, because we know where you stand on those.
And let the conditions now and capitalize. For example, Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg gets it. I don't know if you saw it today, but Snoop Dogg, inflation has hit Snoop Dogg and his blunt roller. You know what a blunt is? A blunt is one of them marijuana cigarettes. And he's had a hired blunt roller that he paid $40,000 a year.
No way.
It is. You check it up today. It's a legitimate story. Jeremy's shaking his head. Yeah, I'm correct. Jeremy's saying this. $40,000 a year to make sure he has perfectly rolled blunts at his disposal at all times. Well, Snoop has had it up to here because inflation, he's got to pay the guy $50,000 now to keep him.
No way.
The guy said, I'm just going to go roll blunts for somebody else.
They're right there with Starbucks and unions.
But my point being, even the far left, dope smoking, rapping liberals to the left, they get it. These policies aren't working. Snoop doesn't want to pay another $10,000 to his blunt roller. And you think he's the only blunt roller out there? Hey, check it out. It's for real. It's not today. The news broke today.
Yeah.
So Republicans just don't mess this up. I'm like Jeff Foxworthy. Jeff Foxworthy said when Atlanta I was out there doing Eat of the Night. Jeff Foxworthy, the comedian. He said, as they opened it up and Atlanta was in competition for all the cities to get the Olympics, well, Atlanta got it. And Jeff's from the Atlanta area. So he's sitting there going, well, you see today, Atlanta got the Olympics. Now, don't you know we're going to mess that thing up? He says they're going to let them pigeons out, and Earl and Merle are going to be on, I got the leader, Earl. They're going to blow the pigeons out. Right? But you're sitting there going, Republicans, don't mess this up.
I don't think we will. And you know me, I want Trump to run in 2024.
You know what I think it's going to be? Then I'm going to let you judge it. I just think it's going to be a DeSantis-Trump just slugfest. They're going to weaken each other, and the Democrats are going to roll in. If the Republicans don't
I don't
watch
think
it,
so. I think
right,
it's going to be
wrong. I want to be wrong.
Trump DeSantis. Trump's only got 4 years. I think he meets with DeSantis and says, "Look, man, you're the heir apparent. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
Let me serve out 4 years. Let me get this train back on the rails for you. You come in, you serve
Is vice president yet?
Yeah. Trump DeSantis. I mean, Mike Pence obviously is not going to come around anymore. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, but see, Mike Pence supported Kemp. Mike Pence put everything he in with Brian Kemp in Georgia. And it was like Pence versus Trump, and it was a blowout. They went with Kemp.
There's more of a likelihood that Chris Matisse would become mayor of Fresno and congressman at the same time than Mike Pence ever to return to the executive branch of government.
Go. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed the question. Oh, of course, I missed the question. Okay, real quick here. We got like 6 minutes here. And we're just going to barely scratch the surface on this. Because you know how I feel about the war in Ukraine. This is unwinnable. Russia will win a war of attrition. It's starting to happen right now. Russia controls 20% of Ukraine. They've taken Severodonetsk. I'm murdering the name of that city, but a key city. Got another one. It's just grinding it out like first down after first down, like the wishbone. They're running the wishbone down the field on them. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change. And finally, what I've been saying from day one on this, where is America calling for peace talks? Now it's happened. America hasn't called. France and Germany, two of the big players in Western Europe, our real top allies, militarily, economically, any way you look at it, is Germany and France, have both fervently called for peace talks. But the United States hasn't. What in the hell's going on? Why would you not be there calling for peace talks unless you wanted this massacre to continue and see babies killed every day, 50 to 100 Ukrainian soldiers dying every day? Why? Because you just hate Putin? Sorry, not good enough reason for that carnage.
Well, you know what? I've got to tell you something. They're doing it because the Democrats think that it takes the pressure off of them in what's going on here at home. And they're using...
Isn't that grotesque?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. But that's exactly what I think is happening.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I think the other frame of thought is we need Putin to lose big time. So I think I'm hoping they're doing it for this reason. They're probably saying, look, let's pray for the Hail Mary. Let's just pray that we get the ball. There's a Hail Mary and Putin's defeated. We stop him now. So I'm hoping that that's the game plan. Let's hold out, because if we hold out and he's defeated, he's not going to do this again with any. He's not going to do it with the Baltic states. We're good.
What is defeated? What does victory look like? Putin
something
surrenders?
That's unattainable. Yes.
Putin surrenders.
Something that's unattainable.
Exactly.
Yeah, very unattainable.
It's not going to happen. Putin didn't surrender Afghanistan. It was 10, 15 years of carnage.
Yeah.
We didn't win in Afghanistan. 20 years of carnage. We didn't win in Vietnam. 55,000 people, including two of my good friends, died there. There was no victory there. They had no idea of what victory looked like when they got in.
Yeah.
When halfway through it, they didn't know what victory was. They didn't have the guts to pull out. And we're doing the same darn thing with Ukraine. The Ukraine is not going to defeat, even with all the help from France and Germany and the United States. They don't have enough people. They don't have enough armies. And right next door, it's not like Russia's shipping troops all over Afghanistan. Yeah. It's right next door. It's in their backyard.
This is why, and I hate to bring this up, this is why you need Trump to run in 2024.
What would he do, you think?
And he will do this on a lot of issues too. As soon as he becomes president-elect again, he comes in with the experience. He comes in with the camaraderie. He can call Putin up
and say, let's talk.
Let's talk.
That's exactly what I'm calling for.
But Biden can't do that. DeSantis can't do that. Nobody can. And this is my single reason.
But you just said we need to see Putin defeated. I think Trump knows he's a realist enough to know you're not going to defeat Putin in the classical sense of what we envision defeat. He's not going to say, okay, you guys win. Here's Donbass. Here's the region. Here's the cities we've taken. I mean, they've already taken those troops from Mariupol, by the way, which were the Nazis. Mm-hmm. And they're white supremacists, the Azov battalion, taking them to Russia. God help those people. Yeah. Those guys, you don't know what's going to happen to those folks. But he's doing exactly, methodically, what he said he was going to do. And you just can't stop him. You can...
Crimea is a good example of once taken, he never releases, Yeah. So, and that's what he's doing. It's a war of attrition. He has the ability because he's got enough troops. You remember Grant's philosophy in the Civil War? I'm going to make you run out of bullets with the men I've got. And that's how I'm going to
gave Grant that strategy.
Yeah, I bet you did. It's because you're a former police officer. But you got to remember, that's what Grant did. Yeah. Grant threw men at bullets, basically, and won the Civil War. They ran out of more resources. And I think
that's a very good point.
And you got to remember, this in some ways is a 30-year delay.
And thank
Civil
goodness
War.
for
That's
who?
a good point.
Thank goodness for who?
Okay,
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who surrendered.
Yeah.
He had people in the South going, I'll fight to the death till there's not one Southerner left standing.
Yeah.
And Robert E. Lee was prescient enough and godly enough to say, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Let's talk.
Even knowing you'll never have a statue again.
Exactly. Larry Powell, Guillermo Moreno, what a chunk of heaven it is to be with y'all today. And folks, listeners, viewers, thanks so much. Laura, I just saw you up on the screen just now. Pardon me, I got engrossed here. Please call back tomorrow. I would like to hear what you had to say. Sorry about that. God bless you. Just do your best. Let God do the rest. That's all you can do. That's all he expects of you. Bye-bye now.